So it turns out Israel has been secretly arming militias inside the Gaza Strip, and this has caused outrage today in Israeli media. But this could actually be a part of a bigger plan where the Israeli government have actually been funding both Hamas and other groups to cause more chaos and suffering within the Gaza Strip. So this all started today because a former defense minister from Israel came out and said that the Israeli government have been arming a militia group in the Gaza Strip, and because the government got caught, they admitted it and they said yes. This group has 300 members. They're called the Abu Shabab clan. They're often referred to as either a criminal gang or a militia group. They have ties to foreign jihadist movements, and they've also been accused of sneaking stuff across the border between Egypt and Gaza. This group opposes Hamas, but it's been reported that they've worked with the Israeli government before by inspecting buildings on behalf of the IDF to make sure that they're safe. Perhaps that's a condition for the Israeli government arming them. Now, they say that they use their power to help secure humanitarian aid for Palestinians within Gaza, but there's also reports on the ground from Gazans that no, they actually loot it and they're just a criminal gang. Where this story gets interesting is that back in 2019, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, at a political party meeting said that if you oppose a Palestinian state, the best thing that we can do is fund Hamas. And Benjamin Netanyahu did fund Hamas. He facilitated payments from the Qatari government to Hamas. And the idea of what he's saying there is that if we want to, continue oppressing Palestinians, if we want to keep opposing a Palestinian state, if we want to cause chaos and suffering and, continue our occupation, continue, obviously, the war crimes, the annexation, the apartheid regime that we justify, the only way to do that is by funding and arming this extremist group, Hamas. Funding both sides is a good old military trick that has been going on for thousands of years. You fund both sides, you cause chaos, and then you take advantage of that chaos. So by funding these groups and by funding Hamas, they have allowed that chaos to reign. They have made these people strong. It allows them to carry out their criminal activity. It allows them to keep doing what they're doing. So Israel has an excuse to continue occupying. Israel has an excuse to continue everything that it does to Palestinians in Gaza and Palestinians everywhere else. Netanyahu denies facilitating payments for Hamas, even though this has been proven. This has been reported on by almost every single media outlet in Israel for years now, and people have been annoyed at him for doing this, but for some reason he denies it. But what's interesting about him facilitating payments from Qatar to Hamas through the Israeli government is that right now Benjamin Netanyahu and his team are currently under investigation for possibly taking bribes and working with foreign agents from Qatar. Obviously, none of this surprises me. It's just good to have the story out there so people can truly understand the politics that happens behind here, that people have to stay in power because Benjamin Netanyahu is using his position to avoid being held accountable for his multiple crimes and bribery. He's in court today. He was in court yesterday. He's on trial for bribery and corruption, completely unrelated to the Qatari investigation, which is still ongoing. And this is what Benjamin Netanyahu and the Israeli government do. They're keeping themselves in power so Benjamin Netanyahu can try and avoid accountability. He's used his office to enrich himself, to facilitate power moves within politics, to keep himself within power, and he's trying to avoid this accountability. Meanwhile, Palestinians are suffering, the genocide continues, and the war crimes go on and on and on.